Sudden twist of fate sets the scene for Disney's lively tale of...
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our coverage now of the $35,000 Foster's Kyneton Cup. Paul Shawble's here. Well, it's a mixture of the bag and the weather today, Paul.
Yes, a bit of a heavy rain earlier on, but fine up pretty well now, although it's very, very humid here. Overcast, but I don't think it's going to rain, at least not before the Cup anyway.
Well, Paul, you've had a talk to the ranger earlier in the day. What's the picture with the track here? Well,
they had a bit of overnight rain, about 65 points, I'm told, altogether, and I suppose, and the downpour we had before lunch, there would have been another 20 or 30 points, I'd say. But the track holding up pretty well, should be just slow.
What's your thoughts on the crowd here so far for the Cup?
I thought probably a fraction disappointing on last year, but I'm told that when people were coming up from Melbourne, it was absolutely teeming with rain, so it probably put a few people off, and I think probably a few locals have decided to stay at home too.
Well, it's a rather balmy afternoon here in Kyneton, a little bit warm and humid. We've had a couple of showers during the afternoon, which have seen the track deteriorate a little bit too slow, but obviously in the Cup there's a couple of mud runners.
Yes, I think this is going to alter the betting a little bit too. The top weight probably would have been pretty hot favourite had it not been for the wet weather, but whether he can handle the conditions or not is an unknown factor.
Well, I believe around about lunchtime, when some of the bookmakers here at Kyneton opened up early, Rheingard was the one the people here on course wanted. Well, let's get their thoughts now. Let's take you across to Ted Ryan here with our commentator, Brian Blackmore.
Thank you very much, Alan. Well, with me, Brian Blackmore from 3DB. Brian will be hearing Brian's call of the Kyneton Cup on TV8 and seeing the race as they go around. Well, Brian, how do you ascertain the race? How do you see it?
Like this weather, Ted has probably thrown it into the melting pot a bit. There are a couple of the horses which were given very good chances before the rains came, and speaking to Robbie Heffernan earlier on, he did say the track is very, very heavy, and it excuses a few of these runners which we thought were going to be right in the finish out of a real chance. I think I really don't know. It's a melting pot job. I thought the top would be hard to beat, Rheingard, but on the other hand, we're not too certain of it on a absolutely bog track. Oh Johnny, were the track slow, he'd be a real chance, but he's another one who's a bit of a problem on the heavy, and Carlisle, Ben and Sayer go on. It's a very difficult race, but the one shortener in the ring is definitely the top one. It's come in from, well, nearly double each way odds into under each way, so it's the big shortener.
Well, Brian, as a matter of fact, I was talking to Peter Johnson earlier, and you'll hear from Peter very shortly. Rheingard, look at its form, Brian. Second in the Colin Stevens Stakes in Sydney to Silver Award, who won the Dalgety Handicap. 5th of 19 behind Sprightly Native in the Metropolitan. Then it won the Canberra Cup in very good style. It's a New Zealander. It has won on a wet track. Peter's a little bit concerned about it, but it looks a toppy. It looks good at value at that price, and 55.5 kilos. He's well in, Brian.
He is, Ted. He does read us the winner now with all the other ones that we did give into a chance out of calculations as far as we know. I do think that Playful Princess could run a good race in it too, Ted. It is probably a little bit out of its class, but it is racing very well, and it can handle the track. And, well, I'm not too sure about the others. El Coran, of course, he's been a little bit disappointing lately, and Top Banner is racing well, but he's another one who doesn't like really heavy going.
Well, there's one down the bottom of the weights there. There's Treaty. That's a New Zealand bred horse too. That Stephen Burridge aboard, it's only got 50.5. It might be a bit of a chance now with this wet track, Brian.
Could be. I say it's just one of those things, Ted. Luck's going to tell a lot, and a lot of the horses, we just don't know whether they're going to handle it, but I think I'll be putting mine on the toppy.
Brian, in the earlier race with this bit of mud being kicked up, it's still okay to pick the colours up?
It was a bit dicey in the first with all the rain, but since then it's been okay. Robbie Heffernan was saying that they're throwing clods back as big as footballs, but apart from that, the visibility's been very, very good, and there's been no problems at all, and thankfully we're going to get away with the rest of the afternoon without any that stuff from the sky.
Okay, Brian, good calling, and you'll hear Brian on TV8, hearing the call, the Kyneton Cup for 1985. Thanks, Brian, and back to you, Al.
Well, thanks, Ted. Well, there's certainly interesting comments there from Ted Ryan and Brian Blackmore as we begin this run-up to the 1985 Foster's Kyneton Cup. Paul, a couple of thoughts on the weather and the crowd so far?
Well, I think people are really starting to enjoy themselves now. It's always the time before the Cup that's the most exciting at a race day, I think. People's anticipation, they're running around putting their bets on. We'll have to have a quick look afterwards and let you know exactly what's happening in the betting ring, but I think it'll be out of the three horses, Rheingard, Oh Johnny and Carlisle Ben. I think they'll be the three favourite horses.
Well, that's the situation as we build up for the running of the 1985 Foster's Kyneton Cup, and we'll be back with more news right after this commercial break.
The
to Kyneton now as we begin our build-up for the 1985 Foster's Kyneton Cup. Let's have a look now at the replays of the first 4 races which have been run and won here at Kyneton this afternoon in the overcast conditions. Race number 1 this afternoon is the Colliban Hurdle over 2,800 metres. Let's have a look now at the final stages and a start of a great day for the Kennedy family of Bendigo with Fife and Fun.
Half length in front of herself it is, 450 out. The next one coming up, Fife and Fun got through it by 2 lengths. He got away from herself it is, then Top Music, Count of Orange and well back See Me Rock and then Prince Lindell. But at the 350 metre point, Fife and Fun got right away. He's out by 3 lengths to second, Count of Orange on the outside of herself it is. Then well back came Top Music and Prince Lindell running on. Here's the last one coming up at the 200. Fife and Fun measured it. He comes to it, he crashed through it, but he's clear. On the outside, Count of Orange is trying hard from herself it is, and then Prince Lindell, it's Fife and Fun. He can hardly lift his legs, neither can the others, and Fife and Fun's going to be too good. And Fife and Fun wins by 2.5 lengths on the line. 2 lengths, he's down. Prince Lindell's run second. Then Count of Orange.
Fife and Fun, ridden by Rod Durden, paid $2.25 for the win and 85 cents the place. The second horse, number 8, Prince Lindell, returned $3.75, and the third horse, number 4, Count of Orange, paying $1. The Quinella was $37.95, and the trifecta on the first here at Kyneton, $339.25. Well, that was a very keenly contested affair, the hurdle, and of course hurdle racing is certainly building up now in fever in New South Wales. And Ted Ryan talks now to one of the former top jumps jockeys and now very successful trainer, Kelvin Burke.
Well, Kelvin, the idea of an exhibition hurdle race in Sydney, could this be the start of something big again?
Well, Ted, I think at this stage it's more of a promotional thing or a exhibition type hurdle race, but maybe it might lead to something.
Do you think if something could happen in the future? Well, how would they get? Would they send jumping horses over and the jockeys fly between Melbourne and Sydney, or what?
Well, the horses for this hurdle race in Sydney in this month, they'll just go from here, you know. I don't know. Although I think somebody said there was a couple of horses in Sydney, but I'm not sure of that, you know.
If it does start up again, do you think it's a step in the right direction?
Well, it's a step in the direction that 6 or 7 or 8 years ago it was said the jumping was dead, you know, it was gone. But I think putting steeplechasing back into a season has sort of revived the jumping game, you know, where our horses are lasting longer, you know, they're just jumping through the winter months, which is good, you know.
Another good point too is a good hurdle fielder here in the first at Kyneton.
Yeah, it'd been all right if I'd have backed the winner, Ted, but I didn't.
Thanks, Kelvin Burke.
Right, Ted.
Kelvin Burke there talking with Ted Ryan. Of course, Kelvin, many people around the state would remember as one of our great cross-country riders. Let's go to the first of the flat races here at Kyneton this afternoon. It was the first division of the Campaspe 3-year-old maiden plate over 1,200 metres, and here's Brian Blackmore.
15 lengths to Vino Purio, 600 to go. Having Fun went to the front, running up to second now, Black Key. Counter punch under pressure through to Monster de Toile, and then further back Thesaurus. A good gap in the field, Flash Habit, and they're followed by All Very Lass, and well back Lord Sierra. Black Key raced up now to tackle the leader on the turn, Having Fun. Counter punch is struggling on again in the centre. They're well clear of the others. It's a race in 3 at the 200. Black Key took the lead now. Counter punch fighting on Having Fun is gone. The others all struggling, but Black Key about a neck in front with about 100 to go. Counter punch is fighting back now, and it's beaten now. Black Key is starting to get clear. Coming home very well is Flash Habit from a mile back, but Black Key got the money. A length to Flash Habit, a great run second after missing the kick. Third home.
And there you see the totes on race 2 here at Kyneton. The winner was number 2, Black Key. It was well tried, paid $1.45 and 70 cents. Number 4, Flash Habit, paid $2.05. And number 3, Counter Punch, paid $1.35. The Quinella on race 2 was $10.15. And the trifecta paid $93.45. Well, back now to Kyneton, and race number 3 was the second division of the Campaspe Maiden. And here again is Brian Blackmore.
Targe action, 1.5 further back, Sparkling Prince around Fire Alarm, then My Jabel deep. Behind them, Marengo making a bit of ground, 2 lengths way Gara the outside of Bell Bay and LaFran at the rear. Up the side towards the 600, and here, Targe action moved up on the outside to join Touring Ted, a length away, Brewery Lass hard ridden. Then came coming into it, Sparkling Prince, Marengo. Bell Bay struggling just behind them, and further back in the field, then came at the head of the others, LaFran. Fire Alarm making ground at the 400. Here out deep, Sparkling Prince went to the front from Targe action. Fire Alarm getting through in the centre. Marengo deeper out on the track, and then My Jabel around the turn with 250 to go. Sparkling Prince in front. On the outside, Marengo and Fire Alarm trying with Taj Action, but Sparkling Prince in front, 150 out, right against the rail. Marengo on the outside and Fire Alarm coming at it. Sparkling Prince in front, Fire Alarm grabbing it on the outside. Fire Alarm and Sparkling Prince. Fire Alarm did better. 1 and a neck to Sparkling Prince, 2.5 away third Marengo.
And the totes on race 3 here at Kyneton. The winner, number 3, Fire Alarm. Well tried in the ring. $1.10 the place and $3.05 for the win. Number 8, Sparkling Prince, paid $2.50. And number 5, Marengo, returned $1.90. Quinella on race 3 was $27.45, and the trifecta, very handsome, $327.65. Now to race number 4, the Wedge Intermediate Handicap over 1,200 metres. Once again, a great finish here at Kyneton.
3, a length and a half, Capri Comet, followed by Winning Rink, Latin Flip and Hopeless Tibrai. Up near the corner, 450 out, El Nam the inside, Private Peak, Hard Written Dancers Darling, wider out Capri Comet coming into it, and deeper on the track is Latin Flip. They've all got a chance, bar Tibrai and Winning Rink getting through in the centre. They swing 250 out, El Nam on the inside, and Dancers Darling wider out as Capri Comet, Latin Flip down the outside, and then Winning Rink, who can't go on deep out on the track. Latin Flip went up to join these leaders. Capri Comet, it's Latin Flip and Capri Comet with Latin Flip coming away, and Latin Flip is too good. Latin Flip by 2 lengths on the line. Capri Comet second. Private Peak third from Tibrai, Winning Rink.
And where we have the totes on race number 4, the intermediate, the winner number 3, Latin Flip, $4.90 a win and $1.75 the place. Number 6, Capri Comet, paid $1.65, and third horse was number 8, Private Peak, insufficient starters for a third place dividend. Quinella on race number 4 was $11.80, and the trifecta $396.60. Well, that's the first 4 races that have been run and won here at Kyneton this afternoon. The big one coming up very shortly. Paul Shawell, you've just come back from the betting ring. What's happening for the Kyneton Cup?
Well, it's quite interesting down there, Alan. In the Foster's Kyneton Cup, Rheingard now 5-1. He's got a bit of the drifts. Afghan's Idol 14, so Johnny 7's the one they've gone for is Carlisle Ben, because he ran second, of course, in the Moe Cup after winning the Cranbourne Cup, and he's into 9-4 favourite and quite solid. The second horse in the market is Playful Princess, just under each way odds. Alcaran at each way odds, Top Banner, and the rest of them, they're sort of out the gate.
Well, that's very interesting, the market on the Kyneton Cup, which is coming up very, very shortly now. So we'll come back right after this commercial break.
G'day, loves. Hi, Rita. What have you got there? Well, for ages, I've wanted an Eater Polly. Now it's here. We want a Polly? Not your sort of Polly. New Eater Polly. Polly unsaturated. A smooth spreading polyunsaturated margarine with that great eater value and great eater taste. How's that, loves? Rita! New Eater Polly or Eater 5-star. Great taste, great value, great choice. Rita!
I'd like to tell you...
Back to Kyneton with the Foster's Kyneton Cup just a few minutes away now, and very shortly we'll be seeing the horses come into the mounting yard. Let's take across now to Paul Shawell with the TAB update.
Yes, now looking at the tote update, the win and place dividends, number 1 Rheingard to pay $5.30 and $2.20 the place, number 2 Afghan's Idol to pay $7.80 and $2.60, number 3 Oh Johnny to pay $5.10 and $1.50, number 4, which is Carlisle Ben, to pay $2.50 and $1.10, number 5, which is Italian Verdict, to pay $6.35 and $1.90, number 6 Playful Princess, showing on the tote $2.60. Very, very short, $2.60 the win and 75 cents for the place. So you can see they've put money on Playful Princess, who ran second at Mortonville at its last start. Number 7, Alcaran, $8.15 and $2.75. Number 8, Top Banner, showing $6.40 and $2.05. Number 9, Amala, Grand Old Stayer, paying $9.70 and $2.85. Number 10, Aquastar, to pay $4.15 and $1.45. Number 11, which is Gold Deck, to pay $8.80 and $2.75. Number 12 is scratched. Number 13, Cup Tie, $10.80 and $3.15 for the place. Number 14, which is Treaty, to pay $12.95 and $3.55. Number 15, which is $2 is scratched. And number 16, Aron Star, the outsider of the field, to pay $95.10 for the win and $20.45 for the place.
Paul Shawell there with the TAB update, with some great betting going across the state. And of course, we welcome our viewers right throughout Central and Northern Victoria for this great coverage of Kyneton Cup Day 1985. Well, a very proud man today is the president of the Kyneton District Racing Club, Dr. Andrew Shipley. And here he is now talking with Paul Shawell.
Dr. Shipley, the weather's been a little bit unkind for Kyneton Cup Day.
Well, it's started off a bit miserably, but we hope it'll clear up later on in the day. We haven't quite hit the depths that Geelong had the other day, so we've got a good program, and I hope if the weather holds up, we should have a good day's racing here.
Now, traditionally, Kyneton Cup Day's in a great position, being between the Melbourne Cup and the Oaks. You get a fair few people from interstate and a lot from Melbourne, of course.
We do indeed. A lot of interstate, a lot of New Zealand visitors. I think that a large number of the race-going public look at us as a nice rest day after the bustle of Melbourne Cup Day, and we get a good crowd, a good mix of locals, a lot of people up from Melbourne, and yes, a lot of interstate racing people.
Now, of course, your cup is sponsored by Carlton and United Breweries. What can you tell us about the cup field?
The cup field, we've got a full cup field today, a top weight in a New Zealander that's been running in Canberra, and we expect a good race. There's some good horses there. I think we suffer a little bit in comparison with the cups that are run before the Melbourne Cup, where you're looking at horses who, even if they don't eventually make the field, have got a chance of running in the Melbourne Cup. But we run over 2,000 metres, and we get a good field of horses usually, and this year's no exception.
Now, of course, your second leg is also a great race.
Yes, the Flying, sponsored by Jeff Taylor of Bendigo Motor Company. We've got an exceptionally good field for that this year too.
Well, as we look around now, the weather's finding up, so let's hope we have a great day here at Kyneton. Dr. Shipley, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Right, thank you very much, Paul. Talking there with Dr. Andrew Shipley, who's the newly elected president of the Kyneton District Racing Club. And I guess Dr. Shipley would be pretty pleased, along with this committee, with the crowd that have turned out this afternoon, and the weather starting to change and fine up for a change, and let's hope that the cup and everything goes well for them this year. Let's take you across now to Ted Ryan, who's talking with Miss Kyneton Cup.
Well, Anne, congratulations on winning the award. A very nice sash. And what else went with it?
I was presented with a $100 cheque to help with expenses mainly, I suppose, but it was a nice gift anyway, and the sash, and that was all.
Now, what are your duties between now and the finish of the Melbourne Cup Carnival?
Basically, here on Kyneton Cup Day, I'm presenting trophies, and I have to put the rug on the winning cup horse today, Kyneton Cup, and tomorrow we are all going to Oaks Day as entrants in the Miss Melbourne Cup. That's about it.
How many finals were in Miss Kyneton racing?
4 finalists, 4 girls from around the area.
Did you think you had a chance of winning it at that stage?
Well, I didn't know how many were in it. I thought we'd all meet here together, and I got here, I had an appointment time, 6 o'clock, and there was no one else here, and I thought, oh, I'm late, but we all had set interview times, so I didn't know how many were in it, and I got phoned up that night. It's the good news.
It's a very big thrill.
It was, especially being involved in racing so much myself. I was thrilled to represent Kyneton, and especially having a win here today.
I was going to say they're winning the first one with Fife and Fun. A very nice start for today, and we wish you all the very best. Have a very nice day.
Thanks very much, Tony. Thank you.
Very happy Anne Kennedy there, who is Miss Kyneton Cup 1985. Well, the horses are in the birdcage area, and very shortly we'll be introducing all of the runners to you and showing you some of Australia's top riders right after this commercial break.
Hey, it's the Mobile Whizzer, the new fun toy that's great for...
Back to Kyneton with the runners coming into the mounting yard for the 1985 Foster's Kyneton Cup. Certainly a great atmosphere here now, and going to see a wonderful race. Let's take the clock back just 12 months ago, and we have a look at the 1984 Cup, and what a great finish to this one.
The Valiant Club moving up on the outside. Haley's Hope the challenge as they come to the bend. They're followed by Subtle Knight, hot in pursuit under the whip. Old Astralin's pulling in his claim out deep, 200 metres left to go, any number of chances. Haley's Hope grabbed the lead. Here's Astralin on the outside, and Magistrel finishing well. Astralin on the outside of Haley's Hope. Magistrel driving through on the inside. It's going to be a great finish. Astralin on almost a dead heat. Astralin or Haley's Hope, nothing.
Well, what a great finish to the 1984 Cup, and of course remember that well. It was a great win by Astralin.
It was too, and nice fine weather conditions. I remember quite hot, a bit of comparison to today.
Well, Astralin was a former New Zealander, and there we see the top weight in the Foster's Kyneton Cup for 1985. Number 1, Reingard, and the rider is Peter Johnson.
Just better than each way odds in the tote. Number 1, he ran second at Randwick, and then 5th in the Metropolitan over 2,600, and then 1st in the Canberra Cup over 2,400 metres, coming back in distance a bit today. but he's going to run well.
Number 2 in the book is Afghan's Idol. The veteran rider is Mickey Malyon.
Afghan's Idol's been around for a long time. A 6-year-old gelding. His last 3 starts, 13th of 19 at Flemington over 1200 in a welter, 5th of 17 at Caulfield, also in a welter over 1600 metres, and then 7th of 14 at Kyneton over 1850 metres. Not much to recommend him, really.
Number 3 in the book is Oh Johnny, a very big tip on the track. Apparently likes the sting out of the ground, and the rider is Spike Short.
Yes, he's got a good chance. His last 3 runs have been sound. 2nd of 11 at Werribee over 2,000 metres in a handicap, followed by a win in the Moe Cup over 2,050 metres on the 17th of October, and then 3rd at Geelong and a handicap over 1,700 metres. He's going to be there for a long way.
Number 4 in the book is another one that has been strongly fancied here at Kyneton this afternoon. Number 4 is Carlisle Ben, and the rider is Robert Heffernan.
Well, last time I was out in the bookmakers' ring, he was firm favourite. Carlisle Ben, he's been very consistent, had 28 starts for 7 wins, 7 seconds and 3 thirds. His last 3 runs, 2nd of 13 at Caulfield in a welter, followed by a win in the Cranbourne Cup over 2,050 metres, and then 2nd the other day at the Moe Cup, just beaten by a long neck by Oh Johnny, so he's going to be right up with it too.
Let's go to number 5 in the book, a horse that's had a lot of race starts, in fact 69 race starts in his career. It's Italian Verdict, and the rider is Paul Riley.
Yes, and he's been placed at 27 out of those 69 starts, so he's fairly consistent. His last 3 runs, 10th of 11th at Kyneton, 3 of 11 at Werribee, and 6th of 14 at Moonee Valley in the Moonee Valley Cup, so he's got to be right in it too.
Number 6 in the book is Playful Princess, very solid in the market here at Kyneton this afternoon, and the rider is the Ballarat apprentice Len Morn.
And surprisingly also, I thought surprisingly anyway, favourite on the tote. 14 starts for 5 wins, 4 seconds and a third. His last 3 runs, 6th of 14 at Moonee Valley in the Fian handicap at Weight for Age, a very good run. 5th of 18 at Caulfield in the Marlborough Cup, and 2nd at Morfettville in the Elders Stakes. So been racing in top-class company. I think this is why the punters have made her favourite.
Number 7 in the book is the former New Zealander Alcaran, and the rider is Therese Payne.
Hasn't shown much here except for a win in a welter when he beat Wholesale Boom by half a head back 2 or 3 weeks ago. Since then, though, he's run 14 of 15 at Moonee Valley and then 7th of 13 at Werribee, so he's got to face the task.
Number 8 is also a former New Zealander in Top Banner, coming all the way from Coleraine in the Western District, trained by Jim Serkey, and the rider is the senior rider of the field, Gary Willett.
He's at good each-way odds, I think, because the form, although sound, it hasn't been very good. He's run 13 of 15 at Flemington, the Turnbull Stakes, followed by a 7th of 10 at Caulfield in the Coonji Handicap, and 4th then at Cheltenham over 2,250 metres on the 26th of October.
Let's go to number 9 in the book, the veteran horse Amala, and the rider is Stan Aitken.
Amala, a grand old stayer, originally trained at Bendigo by Alan Browell. He's by Tularama. He's had a lot of runs, 98 starts. He's won $159,000 by the same token. His last 3 runs pretty ordinary. 12th of 13th at Cranbourne, 3rd of 10 at Benalla, and 15th of 16th at Werribee in the Werribee Cup.
Number 9 in the book is Aquastar. The rider is Rod Dawkins.
Aquastar, pretty good horse, really. He's at just over each-way odds. 4th of 13th at Caulfield, followed by 12th of 15th at Flemington, the Turnbull, and then he ran 3rd to Rheingard in the Canberra Cup the other day, so he could improve.
Let's get down to number 11, Gold Deck, and the rider is N. Barrett.
Gold Deck, his last 3 starts, 5th of 19 at Flemington, 4th of 17 at Caulfield in a welter, and 3rd of 9 at Geelong in a welter. They'd all been over less than a mile, so it'll be interesting to see whether they can run out the good, strong 10 furlongs.
Number 12, Stop Snoozing, is a scratching. Down to number 13, Cup Tire, and the rider here is the former New Zealander, Philip Alderman.
He's had a couple of runs in Sydney before coming here, 11th of 12th at Randwick, followed by 10th of 10th at Rose Hill, and then 2nd at Kyneton its last start. A rough show, but it'll be pretty rough.
Getting to number 14, Treaty, Stephen Burridge aboard.
Treaty, he's a horse by First Consul. He's now 6 years old. He's had quite a bit of racing, 41 starts, but he's done pretty well. He's won nearly 40,000 from those 41 starts. His last 3 starts, 1st of 8 at Colac, 5th of 16th at Ballarat, and then 5th of 11 at Geelong over a handicap. So, you know, he's got the task ahead of him too. Good each-way odds. You get a lot better than double figures for him.
Well, there's Stephen Burridge just climbing aboard in the mounting yard. He'll be the last horse out onto the track. Number 15, 2 Grand, is a scratching. And let's get down to the bottom weight now. Number 16, Aaron Starr, and the rider here is the apprentice, Robbie Griffiths.
Well, unfortunately for his connections, he's the bolter in the field. I think you'd get just about any odds for him. His last 3 starts haven't had much to recommend him. 8th of 8 at Pakenham, 4th out of 5 at Tatura in a handicap, and then 7th of 12th at Yarra Glen in an intermediate, and really he's an open company, but I don't think he's up to winning this.
Well, there's all the runners for the running of the Kyneton Cup of 1985. Well, Paul, let's go to your thoughts. Who do you think can win it?
Well, someone that I know quite well told me that a lady named Linda Jones thought that Ryan Guard was a good thing in this race, except for all the wet weather. Now, whether it's changed the track very much, if it hasn't, and he can handle it, I think he should win.
Well, Linda Jones would know because, of course, she's the lady who set the pattern for lady riders in Australia. And I remember a couple of years ago she had, well, last year in fact, Astrolin, and she brought a party of New Zealanders out here, and I believe at the time she was a part owner. So
well, she's here again today, so
the money could be right. And I believe that Peter Johnson is quietly confident, the jockey of Ryan Guard, and apparently early in the day it was a very big tip.
Well, the interesting one, I think, Alan, is Playful Princess, and it's probably one we've forgotten about a bit, number 6, because it's been running in top-class company. It's a good mare. It's won just $26,000, but the last 3 starts, when you look at them, no wonder she's favoured with Tote Hunters, 6th of 14 in the Feehan Stakes, 5th of 18 at Caulfield in the Marlborough Cup, and 2nd at Morfordville in the oldest 1,600-metre stakes. She's going to have a great show too.
Well, the horses with the best chances, I believe, are the top-weight Ryan Guard. I do think that his form in Canberra is very good, and of course he has been doing a lot of his track work up around Bendigo Way. His rider is Peter Johnson. The other one, of course, is Robert Heffernan, who's aboard Carlisle Ben, and Mickey Mallion, who has a great chance on number 2, Afghan Idol. Here are those 3 jockeys now talking with Ted Ryan.
Ryan Guard is a very smart type, like running 2nd in the Cotton Stephen Stakes, 5th in the Metropolitan, and a good winner of the Canberra Cup.
Yeah, he won the Canberra Cup real nice. He won it real easy. And he won a good race in the Metropolitan. And he won a good race up earlier in the piece there up in Sydney. So, you know, today, as long as he can handle the wet tracks, he'll have a good show.
Well, he's by Rapier the 2nd. They generally handle the wet tracks pretty well.
He has won on a wet track, but we'll just have to find out later on. But he's a fit horse, and he should be right amongst it.
Yeah, with his good form, he's got well weighted at 55.5 and barrier 4.
Yeah, it is a nice weight because back home he ran 2nd in the Avondale Gold Cup to a good mare Carrier, and she went on and won a lot of weight for age races, and he won the Canberra Cup with 54.5 on his back. And he gets in there real well. I think he only had 54.5 in the first place, and then they re-handicapped that, and a couple of top weights dropped out, and they re-handicapped for 1.5 kilos or something. So he got in real light.
Well, Robbie, couldn't ask for a better amount than Carlisle Ben in a race like the Kyneton Cup this afternoon.
No, Ted, his form's pretty good going into the race. It's excellent, really.
Well, he ran 2nd in the Moe Cup behind O'Johnny. He won the Cranbourne Cup beating Show Glen, and prior to that he won 2nd at Caulfield to Toyd, so he's a very consistent type.
Yes, he has been, and as you said, those horses that he beat ran 2nd to they're handy horses themselves.
Bobby, how's the track you've ridden on in the 2nd race?
Very heavy.
Very heavy,
Very heavy, yes.
Now, will this suit your horse?
No, he hasn't got any form at all on wet tracks. Dead tracks about as wet as he can handle, and seems fairly heavy out there today, but he hasn't run on a real heavy track for about 12 months, so hopefully in that time he's learnt to handle it a bit.
You've got a bit of a worry too with barrier 15 getting across. There's only the run down the straight to try and get him across quickly.
Yes, it's not the best of draws. I've just got to try and work that out myself when the gates open. Hope for a bit of luck.
Congratulations on your great ride yesterday in Tripsicum in the Melbourne Cup too, Rob.
Yeah, thanks very much, Ted. Thank you.
Right, well, Mick, you're riding Afghan's Idol in the Kyneton Cup. You give it any sort of a chance on this wet track?
Well, I did before I got here, Ted, but oh well, I hope everyone's wrong, but apparently it doesn't like it real soft, and pretty soft out there, I think, eh?
Well, Mick, it hasn't. Its form of late hasn't been too good either.
Oh, I rode it here last start, and it did disappoint. But the start before it ran a really good race at Caulfield, ran 4th there. I think Al Korean.
That's right.
Well, there's Mickey Mallion there talking with Ted Ryan, and certainly Mick, one of the great men of racing here in Australia. Let's have a quick look at